Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
It ain't so groovy when you're screaming in the night. Let me out of this cheap movie. Headlong down the highway and you're rushing headlong out of control.
Yeah, headlong, taking it on headlong. Mr. Chuck Baldwin, Pastor Chuck Baldwin. You know, he's took a good share of his flock and family, went up to Montana and Flathead Valley and said, oh, we got it going on. Now, I'm as I look at maps, and let's go ahead and pull this up, the upper left, the northwest part of Montana is called the Flathead Valley, and there looks like a big lake there. Is that lake part of the valley?
Oh, definitely. Flathead Lake is the largest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi River.
Wow. So, okay. So we got a nice big giant lake up there. You're west of the Rockies, and of course it looks like you got mountains all around you. So I can only imagine how beautiful it is. And you look at some of the pictures, I'm like, damn. So now we're looking way up in the upper left. And now, what is the population in the Flathead Valley up there?
I'd say the general population in the valley would be well over 100,000. It's spread out over quite a large area, of course. There are no big cities in Montana, which is one of the reasons that we like Montana so much. Big cities tend to dominate the politics of a state, and the bigger the city, the more liberal the politics. In Montana, there are no big cities that really dominate the state. It's a huge state geographically, the fourth largest state in the country land-wise, and yet the entire population of the state is less than 1 million. So that'll give you a little idea as to the lay of the land.
So the biggest city is like Helena or Butte or something like that. What's the population there?
The biggest city is Billings.
Okay, Billings. So what's the population there?
About 100,000.
Okay, so you're big city. You're going to go to the movies and get what for and Dairy Queen. You're going 100,000. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and Missoula would be next with about 90,000, and it's the Moscow of Montana. It's the home of the University of Montana. It's the most liberal city in the state. It's where all the liberal attorneys give us fits with all the crap that they're putting out. But then you've got Great Falls, population of, 75, 80,000. Then you go down, so you got Helena. Where we live is in a Kalispell area, and the population of Kalispell is around 20,000, and it's the seventh largest city in the state. So that'll give you a little idea as to how.
Well, 20,000. I mean, you probably got a McDonald's, man. I mean, it's.
Hey, man. Hey, we're uptown. We even got a Dairy Queen.
Ooh, so there's especially as you're by Glacier National Park. So I imagine in the summer
Right.
You got a lot of tourism coming to Flathead, and with a lake like that, I imagine there's some fishing. So.
Oh, yeah, it's great, I tell you. And in the wintertime, the skiing is big. The tourist industry here is pretty healthy. A lot of Canadians come here. And, of course, people from Seattle and other parts of the West come over here to recreate. It's just a really popular place for tourism.
Okay, so as we're looking at the map here on YouTube, you'll see the Canadian border goes all the way across here. Now, North Dakota, it's up there, but it means that to the east of you, all this is North Dakota. Then you have Wyoming, South Dakota below North Dakota, then Wyoming underneath, Idaho. And so that's your border states. You got Canada to the north,
Right.
To the west, Idaho, south, Wyoming and Idaho, and to the east, North, South Dakota. So so we got an idea where you're at. Now, if we went over, you got Idaho, then it goes Washington State, Pacific Ocean. So you're not really that far from the Pacific. Now, you have an enormous state with enormous resources up there. And when you have a place like that that's remote with a lot of resources, I'll bet you Montana has a lot of federal land. Now, what percentage of it is privately owned or state or federal?
Yeah, that's the whole West. It has that problem, as you know. For example, Nevada is about 90% federal-owned property. Idaho, it's probably 70%. Colorado, 70%. Montana, of all the western states, actually has less federal domination of property than the others. I think it's about 60% state and federal land here in Montana, which is far less than most of the other western states.
Arizona's only like 16% private land.
Yeah.
I mean, with all
Yeah,
the
right.
Indian reservations, the gunnery ranges, the military bases, the Forest Service, the national parks, 16%. In Arizona,
Right.
somebody owns it. So Montana, you're saying it's 40. I'm like, ooh, that's good news.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the other western states for sure. But you're right. I mean, we've got our share of big government, wackos here, just like you've got anywhere. I mean, you've got the socialists, you've got the environmentalists, you've got these people up here that want to try to dictate at the point of a gun, what you can do with your own property and all those kind of things. But, I got to tell you again, when we looked at the geographics and we looked at the dynamics and the geopolitical structure of Montana, and plus my visits here, I can't discount that. I just found a place where the love of freedom and liberty burns in the hearts of people to a degree that I haven't found it in other places. And not only that, the Second Amendment is sacrosanct in this state. It has the largest possession of privately owned firearms of any state in the country. Let me give you an example, a fact that will kind of back that up. In the state of Montana, the average household in the state of Montana has 27 guns in it. That is a fact. It's the highest in the country.
Wow. I'd like to even know what second is. I mean, oh my goodness. And I thought I was feeling pretty, well stocked. I mean, oh my, wow. All right. So now we have the political process there. How do you qualify to run for state office there? Is it a party thing? Do you got to get 5 billion signatures? You got to pay $1 gazillion? What would be the process if you were so inclined?
No, I would qualify. I mean, of course, it depends on the race. If it's a governor's race, you have to be here, I think, a resident for 2 years. If it's a other race like a state rep or a state senate, it's less than that, probably a year. Your local races are probably 6 months, depending. I'm not sure exactly, but it's a small time that you need to be a resident here in order to run for public office. And yeah, Ernest, I mean, I've had a lot of people since I've been here that have urged me to run for governor of the state of Montana. I have not made up my mind to do that yet. And but I got to tell you, there's a lot of people that are encouraging me to do that.
Okay, well, still before we even get to that, and I start bugging you about that, I want to know what the qualifications are. I mean, should you choose to run as a Republican or a Democrat or a third party or an independent? Do you have any idea what the requirements are?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be a resident for X amount of
no, I mean, how many signatures you got to get? How difficult is it to get your name on the ballot?
No, it's not difficult. If you run as one of the two major party tickets, it's not difficult. You just declare your candidacy and run. And if you run, Constitution Party used to have ballot access here in Montana, but I believe that they have since 2008. I think they've lost their ballot access, so I don't think their ballot access qualified going into 2012. Libertarian Party is probably ballot qualified, I would think. I'm not sure if there are other.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering what the process is. If you're running as a Republican, do you got to go through a caucus? Do you have to do a primary? Do you have to get so many signatures? Do you? I mean, how do you?
No. Yeah, all you got to do, you declare your candidacy. If I was going to run as a Republican, I would just declare my candidacy as a Republican, and I would run. And the way that the primary process works here in Montana is different than what it was in Florida, where I came from. No matter how many people are in the race, the primary I'm talking about, no matter how many people in the race, whoever has the most votes after the primary election is declared the winner. So, like right now for governor, for example, there's at least 6 Republicans that have declared for the governor's race.
You just declare. You don't have to do anything but say, I declare, and then boom, you're on the ballot.
That's right, on the primary ballot. And then whoever wins that, who wins that's the nominee.
Okay. I talked to Chuck to see if he could stay over a little bit. He's agreed to stay over another segment because I just knew we were going to run out of time. So can you hold on there for us?
Yep, I'll be here.
Okay, so when we come back, I got a bunch more questions I didn't get out, and I know you want me to ask. And, things like, I don't know, he was endorsed by Dr. Ron Paul for president in 2008. How might that play? Oh, didn't think of that one, did you? Ooh, we'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, and my special guest, Pastor Chuck Baldwin in Montana. We'll be right back. Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.